Hey everyone, welcome back to the most interactive wrestling show on the interweb. Welcome back to Wrestling with Omer, live here for all the live homies on youtube.com/Real Take Wrestling, and to all the podcast homies listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and every single other platform that we're on. Welcome back to the show. We were on a 2-week hiatus there. I'm glad to be back, and we've got a bit to talk about because, in fact, not only did John Cena start running his mouth about Austin Theory, but of course we have AEW Collision, the announcement that AEW Collision is going to be a thing, and some interesting news that I talked about in a video earlier today, literally just before the show, that I will touch on a little bit, but go over to youtube.com/Real Take Wrestling to get that full video and my full analysis of that CM Punk AEW lawsuit situation. Guys, you know what to do. This is the show where you leave a chat, I answer it. You want to guarantee your question or statement gets read out on the air in ample time in its answer. Y'all know what to do. Leave a super chat, as that also helps us do all the wonderful stuff that we do right here, youtube.com/Real Take Wrestling, Wrestling with Omer, podcast, live. Oh boy, I got the energy today, guys. So let's start things off talking about John Cena and this Austin Theory thing. As many of you know, I am not necessarily the biggest fan of Austin Theory. I think that while he is a good wrestler, he leaves a lot to be desired on a promo. He leaves a lot to be desired as far as the overall aura, the feeling. Like, he doesn't have that innate charisma. He does have a charisma about him, but he doesn't have that thing that connects to all the fans out there. And I think that's what's missing with him. As soon as he gets that, I think the sky's the limit. And I genuinely believe that. I just do not see what other people see in Austin Theory. That's just my view of it. But apparently, neither does John Cena. And he really doesn't see it because he let Austin Theory have it now, didn't he? So, Cena said this week on the Not Sam Wrestling podcast, and I quote, "I said to Austin Theory, you are young, you are athletic, you will work for this company, you will do interviews. I don't believe what you do when you're out there. I don't." So this is right before that big promo where Austin Theory got absolutely obliterated by the 16-time world champion John Cena. And apparently he said basically what he said in that promo right there to Austin Theory's face, which on one hand, I guess you gotta kind of like respect it in a way, or at least, you know, he didn't just say, "Oh, well, you suck." Like, he didn't just absolutely bury him in front of the fans and then not keep that same energy backstage. He let him know, and then he really let him know. He let everybody know. So it's interesting because there are a lot of fans out there who are really mad right now. Austin Theory fans especially. Some Austin Theory fans who were John Cena fans actually feel betrayed by this whole situation, which is wild. But, you know, obviously the first thing I consider when Cena says something like this is it a work? And I think, like, he wouldn't say this, right, if at some point they're not going to do a rematch. He wouldn't say this, I think, if this wasn't like a work, because it is uncharacteristic of John Cena, the company guy, the face of the franchise for all those years. It is really uncharacteristic of him, and being the nice guy that he is, right, of him to be like, I'm gonna bury this young guy, like, in front of the entire world like that. I mean, of course, you can point to things like the Nexus where he actually did bury these guys, but he's never done it in an interview like this, like a public interview like this, which really has me, like, flustered a little bit. But that's why I really think it's a work, because I just don't see John Cena doing this. We got Mars in the chat saying Cena still sucks. I mean, there are a lot of people who agree with you there. And we got Job, friend of the show, Job, in the chat saying, "Bury Cena and Austin Theory, elevate L.A. Knight." Hey, man. Yeah. L.A. Knight's getting that pop. We love that. And, like, he's a guy. L.A. Knight is a guy who, from the beginning, you knew he had the talent. You knew he had the mic skills. You knew he had that innate charisma about him and the in-ring prowess. It was just a matter of time, and it was just a matter of getting him the right creative. The stuff he was doing with Bray Wyatt, I love Bray Wyatt, but it wasn't great. It wasn't the best thing for LA Knight. What's great for LA Knight is to show people what he can do in between those ropes and what he can do with that microphone in his hand. Because now we're seeing it. Now we're seeing him get these big reactions. Now we're seeing him be the star that many of us thought he could be, and it's awesome. We got Job in the chat saying that Bray Wyatt removed from WWE's roster. I have not heard that. Is that news that you're telling me, Job, or is that a question that you have for me? Either way, guys, y'all should do the same thing Job's doing. Put your questions in the chat. You want to guarantee your question or statement gets read on the air, leave a super chat. Let me look up this Bray Wyatt thing while I got you guys here. I don't see anything about Bray Wyatt's name being taken off the roster. The last thing we see here really is a Fightful report where it said that Bray Dallas, could you imagine that Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas are still signed with WWE? Yeah, I mean, like, again, Bray has a health issue. That is what we know, and thank you for clarifying that, Job. Bray Wyatt has a health issue. Like, he's injured reportedly and things of that nature. So I like, again, we don't know the extent of what happened and what the injury is. All we can do is hope that he is back sometime soon, because, again, I've said it a million times, Bray Wyatt on your TV show is a lot better than Bray Wyatt not being on your TV show, because he does have a loyal contingent of fans that watch. Whether or not you like Bray Wyatt, it's true. People want to see what he's going to do next, and he's entertaining to a lot of people. Like the Firefly Funhouse stuff, some of the best stuff that I had seen in WWE in years, literally years. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting for sure. I know a lot of people want to know more about the Bray Wyatt thing, but I really do believe it's one of those situations where if he wanted us to know more, we would have gotten out, or if people wanted people to know more, it would have gotten out. I really do think it's more of a private thing. And look, it's at the end of the day, it's a person's health. You can't push them. You can't, try to force someone to be like, hey, what's wrong with you, buddy? Like, no, like, you can't be doing that. At a certain point, us as fans just got to be like, he'll be back when he's back. We hope he gets healthy. And that's the way I've kind of viewed this Bray Wyatt situation. I just hope that whatever happens, Bray is healthy, able to live his life, able to be awesome and do the awesome things that he does. And on top of that, entertain me. I of course love that part too. But yeah, no, I mean, and I know, like, a lot of people out there are big Austin Theory fans. Of course, there are a lot of big John Cena fans out there, but the thing is, right? Like, and the reason why I think this is building up to another match was because the first match, it didn't feel like the big blow off to this feud that people had been building up in their minds for a very long time. It just kind of seemed like a match that happened, which to a lot of people indicates that there's going to be a rematch. Even if you look at the way the match was structured, it wasn't really structured in a way where it was meant to be this big crescendo of these two people finally fighting. It was just what it was. And we've seen WWE do this. John Cena and The Undertaker, remember back at WrestleMania 34, just had a squash match and nothing was ever followed up on. And now The Undertaker's retired. John Cena says that his wrestling days are really close to the end at this point. His body just can't do it, so that's never happening again. So, I mean, maybe, but it's weird. It is really weird. Job in the chat says, does John Cena still have the other wrestlers behind him? As far as the locker room, I would assume so. I mean, he's John freaking Cena. He was the leader of that locker room for nearly 20 years. I definitely think that, bare minimum, whether or not they like him, I don't know, but you would think that there is 100% that respect. Like there's 100% that respect of John Cena in the locker room for what he's accomplished, for the ways he helped WWE and the ways he really steadied the ship and was the anchor of the entire company for 20 years. Like we forget this, right? In the whole like Cena sucks era and all that stuff, like John Cena was their biggest star definitely from 2005 to like 2013. He was their biggest star, and that's not even debatable. So like at least for a solid 18 years, you had John Cena, and of course you had other people as well. I'm not saying it was only him. You had The Undertaker, you had Triple H, but like in between those 18 years, it was him as the main guy, and WWE never let you forget it. And it's worth remembering that when John Cena did leave, right, even the fans kind of realized, man, wrestling without John Cena does feel weird. And like we've gotten so used to it now that it doesn't bother people anymore, but it did feel weird. You like when you realize, man, this show doesn't have John Cena either. Like it's crazy. And when he did return, and he did those returns, that's why he got such a massive reaction every time. Like, people were, like, legitimately happy to see him. When he returned in 2016 and he did that big match with AJ Styles, people weren't only just happy because, oh, my God, we're getting John Cena versus AJ Styles after, like, 20 years. Of course they were happy about that. But on top of that, people were happy to see John Cena back in the ring after being out for nearly a year at that point. So not only do I think he has the respect of other people in the locker room, he 100% has the respect of the fans as well. And that whole Cena sucks thing, I think, is kind of turned at this point. We got Job again. Job in the chat saying, to hell with WWE, let's go to a real wrestling company. Is it true that a Tony Khan announces the first Collision show in Chicago, then CM Punk is part of AEW? So I will start this answer by saying you all should go check out my video that I just posted earlier today, like literally right before the show. Go check out that video where I outline the CM Punk lawsuit and kind of the ramifications of this Collision announcement in really good detail. What I will say right now, and again, please go watch that video. It helps out the channel. But what I will say about this is, yes, Job, that's exactly what's going to happen. If CM Punk is announced for Collision, if Chicago is announced as the location for the first Collision show and it is the United Center, then yeah, CM Punk is going to be back. And if not, it is promotional malpractice by AEW. And as you know, like you can disagree with Tony Khan and the decisions he makes and things like that, but one thing that he's very good about is being in tune with you know, wrestling fans and how they feel about the way certain things are presented. Tony Khan, knowing that and having done that stuff in the past, he knows 100% that if he says Chicago and CM Punk doesn't come, promotional malpractice, he's going to lose fans. And that is not something that is in the best interest of him as a businessman. It's not something that's in the best interest of AEW. And so he wouldn't do that. And like, again, like, it's not me being like, you're Tony's. You're speaking good for Tony. No. What I'm doing is just telling you that Tony Khan, the way Tony Khan thinks, he thinks like an internet wrestling fan a lot of the times. And he knows the way that fans view things, right? And that's one of the good things about having him in as an owner, like, and as a booker. It allows for like things that fans want to see and things that fans want to expect to happen. Now, is that always a good thing? No, but that's why you bring in wrestlers. That's why you have a booking committee. Anyway, short answer, yes, if Chicago is the location of the first Collision, CM Punk will be there. If not, hey man, I don't know what to tell you. They got like, you know, an extra 4 days to figure it out because Dynamite will be in Chicago on the 21st, I believe. Yep, June 21st. By the way, for those of you who are watching, all the live homies, if you haven't already done so, do me a big time favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, if by any chance you are going to be in Las Vegas this weekend for AEW Double or Nothing. I will also be there. So definitely let me know in one of the comments of one of the videos or one of the posts this week. Just let me know. Feel free to come up to me, say hi, all that stuff, and just scare the absolute living crap out of me. We got Job in the chat asking about AEW Collision ticket sales. Well, I guess it's a good enough. Yeah, that's definitely a good enough segue for me that I can talk about this. So, yeah, let's talk about AEW Collision real quick. So, the reason that AEW Collision ticket sales are flopping happens to be, I guess, like around this whole CM Punk thing. Job said, who reported this? Bleacher Report? No. Bleacher Report reporting something negative about AEW? What? No, I'm just kidding, though. No, in all seriousness, the whole AEW ticket sale thing can... Let me restart real quick. So let's talk about AEW ticket sales for Collision. So Collision was announced last week, and according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and I quote, they don't have a big buzz for Collision because they put 3 shows on sale. They put on Toronto, they put on Hamilton, and they put on Newark on sale. Newark has sold 3,500 tickets, which is, you would want more. I wouldn't call it a disaster or anything, but for the New York market, it would be the weakest first day since they've been going there. Toronto is at 1,600, and that's the day before a pay-per-view that sold out instantly. So the reason that AEW ticket sales are flopping are because they're just not selling a lot of tickets for Collision shows, and they're running like pretty big arenas. Like the arena they're running for Newark is the same arena they had like nearly, I think, 12,000 fans show up at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey for Full Gear this past year. So to say that ticket sales are a flop, I think is an accurate statement, because like this announcement you thought had a lot of hype around it. And while I think there are some reasons as to why these tickets haven't been moving at the rate where wrestling fans maybe expect them to or AEW fans want them to, I still don't think it's a good thing. Like if we're being honest, man, like 3,500 tickets for a big Newark show and what's supposed to be one of your strongest markets in New York / New Jersey, it's not good. I will say this in the defense of this whole thing and defense of these poor ticket sales, and also 1,500 is insane. Like 1,500 for Toronto right before the big show in Toronto. Of course it's in Toronto. I just said it was. Right before Forbidden Door, I should say. That's a massive deal. It's a absolutely massive deal. And like, cause like Forbidden Door sold out 12,000 tickets. That Collision show has 1,500 tickets. That's not great. So again, the reason I think, one of the biggest reasons is, two of the biggest reasons, trying to get through this show, I apologize. 2 of the biggest reasons I think that this show hasn't sold, or tickets for this show hasn't sold good, are because, one, we still don't know. There's still this hanging uncertainty around CM Punk. And number 2, they didn't really have a chance to really push these tickets on sale, or these tickets before they went on sale, right? Because you look at a show like AEW Forbidden Door and New Japan Forbidden Door. They announced that show like months in advance and weeks in advance of tickets going on sale. So AEW was not only able to plug it on their show for multiple weeks, they were able to plug it online. They were able to like get buzz going. With Collision, tickets went on sale like just a few days after the announcement was made that Collision was going to be a thing. So obviously, fans didn't have as much time as they did for a lot of these other shows to really build up that momentum and build up that anticipation of, oh my God, I got to get my Collision ticket sales. I got to get my Collision tickets, right? So I do think that played a part in it, and maybe like it's a thing of AEW thought there was going to be more of a demand for that show than there actually was, just naturally. And again, if in my opinion, if the motive was we want to sell these tickets as soon as possible, CM Punk, you gotta announce CM Punk. Until you do, there's no reason for me to be like, I'm going to go fly out to Chicago on June 14th or June 17th. I'm going to go buy my ticket, first row, blah, 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 right? And do all that stuff so I can see CM Punk. Or, oh, this is the exclusive place where I can go CM Punk. I'm not going to take, like, the train ride up to Newark, or I'm not going to take the plane up to Hamilton, Ontario, or any of that stuff. So, like, maybe it's like, you know, an advertising thing that just didn't go well for AEW, but I mean, like, these ticket sales aren't good. Like 1,600 tickets or 1,500 tickets, however much it was according to Meltzer, 1,600. Like in Toronto, the day before Forbidden Door, that ain't great, folks. That is not great. Liam in the chat says, so what's happening with Theory? I went over this earlier on in the show, but I will repeat it for you, Liam. You are a wonderful gem of a human being. That's exactly why I'm saying this. But essentially, John Cena said that, here, I'll read you the quote again, because got to do it for Liam. He said on the Not Sam Wrestling podcast, and I quote, I said to Austin Theory, you are young, you are athletic, you will work for this company, you will do interviews, but I don't believe what you do when you're out there. I don't. So he said this to Austin Theory before that infamous promo where he buried Austin Theory, you know, like did the whole cup check and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, like he said, like, yeah, I said it to him before I went out there, and then I went out there and I said it to him again in front of the fans. I personally think that it's a work, but we'll see. Because I don't know. For me, it's like it's a very out of character thing for John Cena to do. Like I wouldn't expect that from him, but we will see. Guys, if you haven't already done so, do me a big time favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. We got a lot to talk about this week. Of course, we have AEW Double or Nothing coming live from Las Vegas this Sunday night. I will be in attendance, and I don't know. I'll let you guys know how it is. I'm thinking about maybe doing some. I mean, I'm definitely going to be releasing some shorts throughout the show while I'm there, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be a little bit of like live vlog content-ish type stuff. I don't know if I'm going to film a whole vlog when I'm there. I mean, y'all let me know if you guys want me to do a Double or Nothing vlog, like, you know, like kind of chronicling the trip and all that stuff. Like, I could do that. Just let me know in the chat if you want to see that. But, like, you know, like I don't know. We'll see what happens. Regardless, Wednesday I am planning on having a Double or Nothing preview show where we're going to be talking about every single match on the card so far. I'm going to bring on, hopefully, Juggernaut, who is a big friend of the show. I've had him on before. Love to have him on again. Also going to be talking about Double or Nothing tomorrow night on youtube.com/Real Take Wrestling for OT Craps with Trevor. So, a lot happening this week on the channel. Say subscribe to stay updated. We got Charles, friend of the show, saying that Theory didn't benefit from that matchup. He's still a generic wrestler. I would not disagree with you, sir. I would not disagree with you. Job in the chat says, what are your predictions for the AEW pay-per-view Sunday? MJF retain? Does Christian defeat Wardlow? Will Adam Cole, baby, beat the Ocho? Does the Elite get their revenge against the BCC? It is not the BBC, my dude. It is not the BBC. So you will get my full predictions on Wednesday. You will get Trevor's predictions tomorrow. Here is what I will say. I will answer one of those things because it's like probably the most obvious one. MJF is going to retain the title. Like, no matter what happens in that match, MJF will walk out of Las Vegas as still your AEW World Champion. That's going to happen. Some of this other stuff, there's a lot of interesting stuff that could happen. I'm really excited about Anarchy in the Arena, like, mostly because I'm going to be in the arena when it happens. So I'm just hoping that, like, you know, Moxley just gushes and bleeds all over me. No, I don't. That'd be really weird, and I would not want that. That sounds very unsanitary. But no, like it's going to be dope. Like, I remember, so I was at I actually might clip this for a short. That'd be cool. Anyway, but So I was at Full Gear this past year, and I just remember Jay Lethal. Who was it? Yeah. So I was at Full Gear this past year, and I just remember like Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Sanjay Dutton, Satnam Singh versus Darby Allin and Sting happened, and there was this big tag team match, and I just see next to me Jay Lethal getting the absolute crap beaten out of him by Sting, and they're walking right past me, and I can literally see them sweating. I'm just like, this is crazy. But that's exactly why these big brawls are so popular amongst fans. That's exactly why like people love to see this stuff. Like it's because it's right there in front of you. That's why I think Anarchy in the Arena is going to be an awesome match. I'm really excited about it. We got Liam in the chat saying apparently Hit Row are getting a mouthpiece called Tune Talking. iTunes Talking. Oh my God. Yeah, I know you had to do it. Look, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Like, because I deserve all of the gruff I'm gonna get for that. I definitely pulled the trigger on that way too soon, didn't I? We got your Charles in the chat saying too soon for anyone to be engaged in AEW Collision, but only a big feature star like Punk or a preview of what's about to come can attract a fan, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, in the case that you don't have CM Punk, one thing you could do to one thing I think AEW would be forced to do is to have a draft. And look, as much as I have said how terrible the WWE draft is nowadays, the reality is the reason they do those shows isn't even because it's going to help with continuity and storylines, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. The reason they do it is because it pops a massive rating every single time. Like the ratings go up and they can sell more, they can sell a higher ad revenue or sell a higher price for their ads for those big shows. And because they know they're going to pop a rating. So if I'm AEW, I would just be like, hey, we're going to have a 2-night AEW draft at the first Collision, and then at the Dynamite in Chicago, and then after Forbidden Door, everything gets reset, and we have the roster split, and if you're on Collision, you're on Collision. If you're on Dynamite, you're on Dynamite, and MJF and Tony Storm, or sorry, not Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter and all the champions, they're floating or whatever. But outside of that, everyone's on their specific brand. So I would. That's what I would do. I don't know if AEW is going to do that exactly, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, because you have to find a way to build up this anticipation and build up hype for the show. Because if you tell me that you don't have CM Punk, but hey, Kenny Omega is exclusive to AEW Collision, and he's the only place you're not going to see him on Dynamite. You'll only see him on AEW Collision. Then, that gives me more of a reason, I should say, to watch Collision. If you tell me that, John Moxley or Bryan Danielson or the BCC are exclusive to AEW Collision, then I have more of a reason to watch Collision. If not, and if it's just another show and you don't have that roster split and you also don't have CM Punk, I'm sorry, it's not going to do as well as far as the ratings go. And look, I mean, I know we like to talk about
if AEW Collision doesn't get 1 million viewers, it's going to be a failure.
That's not true. It's a Saturday night show. Let's be honest, it's a Saturday night show. Now, for me, I would say that if you hit 500,000, honestly, if they hit 500,000 viewers, it's a success because it's on a Saturday night. It's wrestling. But 500,000 is going to be way better than whatever the hell else they're going to put in that time slot. And it's going to be cheaper than whatever the hell else they're going to put in that time slot. And, that's just what it is. That's just the nature of television nowadays. So, we got Liam in the chat saying, with Collision in Chicago, surely Punk's got to come back. Well, Liam, it hasn't been announced officially because this past week, Tony Khan said that the location of the first ever AEW Collision will be announced on Dynamite. Every other Collision show has been announced, but we don't know where the first one's going to be, which has left some people wondering whether or not it could be somewhere else. Daily's Place was thrown around as a potential name. Job in the chat says, well, if there's no Punk, you could either take MJF or Kenny Omega to make the jump. I think it would have to be Kenny Omega. Like, MJF's your world champion. You don't want to risk, not having him on both shows. Like that's, for me, that's the thing. Like, you have one world champion. He's got to be on both shows. Same thing with the women's world champion. I think the TNT title, you could put that as an AEW Collision exclusive thing. The international title could be AEW Dynamite exclusive. But the world championships, like the trios, the tag, the women's, and the men's, those have to be floating because you want to use your entire roster size to... Yeah, you want your entire roster fighting for those prizes. That's the way I feel about it, though. But we'll see. Well, guys, this has been a fun episode of Wrestling with Omer. I hope you all have enjoyed this. We'll be back live here tomorrow night, youtube.com/Real Take Wrestling for OT Graps. We'll also be here Wednesday for our AEW Double or Nothing prediction show. For those of you who are wondering, but what about Night of Champions? Yeah, I'm not watching that show. I'm not watching that show, guys, because for multiple reasons. Mainly because it is a propaganda piece, so I will not be watching that show. But I might end up doing like a weird thing because I know it's on the same day as Double or Nothing. I might end up doing this thing where I just stream like right after the show, and y'all tell me what happens, or I just read the results and I kind of react to whatever the results end up being. But I have no reason to watch that show, morally, ethically, or spiritually. So yeah, don't support propaganda. Anyway, you got Liam saying we don't do Saudi shows here at Real Take. We don't. I'm sorry. Like, and again, I am not trying to say that other people who cover that stuff are bad or are immoral or like, I'm not trying to be high and mighty or anything. It's just my personal decision. It's my personal belief about, about these specific shows and the way that they have been, funded and the way that they have been structured. I just do not condone, I just don't condone it. And it's a personal thing for me. I understand if other people do it, and that's no hate on them. It's just how I feel. Liam saying, I volunteered to be the Night of Champions correspondent. I will see. Yeah, Charles in the chat says, congrats on 6K. Thank you, yeah, Charles. I mean, I said this on a stream a while back, but I mean, really, again, 6K, it's a big deal to me. And I really appreciate every single person who's subscribed. It really means a lot. So I mean, look, the more people subscribe, the more content I get to put out. So that's the fun thing about doing this. And I know I recently put out a more long form video. I'm kind of dipping my toe in that kind of stuff, and that seemed to have done pretty well. I think it's at 5,000 views. So. So I appreciate everyone who checked that out. If you haven't already checked that out, it's titled AEW is about to change wrestling forever. So go check that out. It's an awesome video. You got Job in the chat saying, you love Trevor too. Of course we love Trevor. Trevor has some big things coming up soon. We got Liam in the chat saying, hey, Omer, Matt Cardona sucks, doesn't he? But thank you, Liam, for we are almost at 6.5K. Help us get to 6.5K by hitting that like button and subscribing so you get notified whenever new videos release. Appreciate all of you guys. Gotta hit it for Liam one more time.
The Seth Rollins laugh. I'm Seth freaking Rollins. I'm gonna be the world champion.
That was not a Seth Rollins impersonation, but okay, we'll take it. Guys, I appreciate all of you. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, take care of yourselves. Vlog at Double or Nothing still on the table? Sure. Since you said it, you Charles, I will do my best. I can make no promises about how good it will be, but I will do my darndest to do that. Last few chats here. Liam says, when's Trevor's birthday? Shrimp eating stream. It's coming up, man. I mean, he might be eating shrimp tomorrow night on the stream. Actually, yeah, tune in tomorrow if you guys want to see Trevor eating shrimp. Oh, we got a basketball question here. The Heat demolishing the Celtics is what the Denver Nuggets have to do to the Lakers today in Game 4. The Nuggets will have to demolish the Lakers in Game 4. I think they will. I think Denver closes it out tonight. I really do think they closes it out tonight. We got Roland continuing saying, "Don't give the Lakers air to breathe, even in the first quarter. Force Coach Marvin Ham to sit down LeBron and AD and for good and end their season before the third." Really out here, like hating on the Lakers. But as a Nikola Jokic fan, I'm here for it. Keep it real, Liam. Love you, bro. You Charles laughing again. You Charles. I will try to whip up something. No promises on it being good, but I will whip up something. How about this? I will do my best to do a vlog for Double or Nothing. Actually, and I also have a surprise I can do. You know what? I can 100% guarantee there will be a vlog. There 100% will be a vlog coming out as a 6,000 subscriber celebration at sometime after this upcoming weekend. So stay tuned, friends. Until next time, though, love y'all. Be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.